Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one southeastern Kentucky man finds disturbing messages while checking his mailbox from a person possibly very close to him. And students and faculty at our school in our region experience a scare after a threatening phone call.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
5:33 here on this Thursday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast, and it is a first alert weather day because we got some things we're watching. What is it? Rain into snow, you said earlier?
We're rocking and rolling today, Dakota. We've got possibility for storms later today and then snow as we head into the overnight hours. Big, strong cold front coming through here. It's going to bring a lot of changes the next couple of days. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. Not much to scan here locally, but look back toward Louisville. They're already seeing a few showers and storms out that way this morning. So we're keeping a very close eye on our neighbors to the west to see exactly how everything plays out here in the next few hours for us here in the east. But so far, we are dry to start the day here in the mountains. Maybe a few scattered showers and storms trying to pop up near Lexington this morning. I-75 at London. 58 down there at the London Corbin Airport, so warming up pretty quickly down that way. We're seeing temperatures actually going up this morning ahead of that system. That's going to bring us some cooler temperatures up to 59 in Irvin along with Somerset, almost 60 degrees already out that way this morning. Basically everybody, except for a couple of spots there, Southwest Virginia and Ashland, Kentucky, in the 50s this morning. And you see the nose there of the warm air coming up from Bowling Green, Clarksville over into Tennessee and Nashville there, all in the 60s this morning. Pretty close in several other locations. The cool spots across the river in Cincinnati and over toward the Tri-Cities. So cloudy to start the day. It doesn't mean the temperatures are not going to warm up for a little bit. I think we get into the mid to upper 50s this morning, low 60s by this afternoon. But those showers and storms will be on our doorstep potentially by 11 o'clock, lunchtime, maybe even before that. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, a man in Middlesboro recently received some disturbing mail filled with terroristic threats, and it turns out he's very familiar with the woman accused of sending them. Sam Luther reports.
Just across the Tennessee line, a man in Middlesboro opened his mailbox to find a disturbing surprise.
One of the items was a picture of a gun believed to have been cut from a magazine.
We can't show you the letters because police say it would compromise the investigation, but we can tell you one was a picture of a gun next to magazine clippings of the words "mysterious death," a separate letter of clippings calling the man names that investigators won't say.
Unclear motive at this time.
The why is unknown, but officers say the who may surprise you. In the middle of interviewing the man's mother-in-law, Debbie Mills, Lieutenant Barry Cowan says he watched her try to hide the magazine's life and unsolved murders.
She was trying to hide it under the couch,
which were later found to have words and pictures cut out of them. Mills is now charged with making terroristic threats and tampering with evidence. Although the charges are pending, Mills is not behind bars. A decision that, despite a hectic situation, all came down to family and compassion. The same reason the victim didn't want to speak about this.
I did consult with the victim and make sure that he was okay with a citation being issued and her giving a court date, and he indicated he was.
That was Sam Luther reporting. Mills will be in court on January 17th. Well, students and faculty in Martin County had a bit of a scare Wednesday after a call claiming there was a bomb on Martin County High School's campus. Martin County Sheriff's deputies, Kentucky State Police troopers responded, evacuated, and searched the building using a bomb detection canine. Later, the school was deemed clear and no threat was present, but Martin County Sheriff John Kirk says the caller could be facing serious charges and they could be expelled.
I'm not exactly sure the charges, but they will be very stiff. I'm sure that they're going to be facing some criminal acts, and as well as I'm sure they'll be suspended from school.
Well, in an update, the sheriff added the caller was a student at the school, but their identity could not be made public. That student has been charged, and the Martin County Board of Education is considering further disciplinary action. Well, a double robbery in Pike County brought agencies together, working to find a man they believe to be a serial burglar. Officers say James Prater of Martin was arrested on several charges after an investigation tied him to break-ins at Fun Time Inflatables and the Riverfield 10 Cinemas. Pikeville Police Lieutenant Chad Rahman says Prater stole money and merchandise from both places, destroying a lot of machines and fixtures along the way.
You've got these businesses that You know, ever since COVID in 2020, some of them may have still not recovered. They're still not financially as stable as they were prior to that. And he's causing them hardship by damaging their property, stealing their items, stealing their money.
Officers say Prater's past charges have painted a picture of a serial offender having been arrested for similar events in West Virginia in 2016. A woman wanted on a murder indictment warrant has been arrested in Laurel County. 39-year-old Danielle Kelly was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center on Wednesday. In November, a grand jury indicted her on a murder charge and 3 counts of first-degree assault, but she did not appear in court. Sheriff's deputies say Kelly was driving an SUV under the influence in September 2021 when she hit 2 other vehicles on US 25. Tiffany Smith, who was a passenger in Kelly's vehicle, died in the crash and 3 other people were hurt. Well, staying in Laurel County, 3 people were taken into custody, but police are continuing to look for a 4th suspect after a police chase. Police arrested 28-year-old John Stevens and 28-year-old Brittany Hubbard at the scene. Officers say a juvenile boy was also taken into custody, but his name's not been released. Police are looking for Cody Osborne. Deputies say during the chase, some of the suspects allegedly tossed a gun and some drugs out of the car window. And the Jackson County Sheriff's Office needs help finding a stolen truck. Well, police said this black 1999 Ford F-250 was purchased on Tuesday with counterfeit money. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office at 606-287-7121 or Jackson County Dispatch at 606-287-9979. Well, the Christmas time cold snap, which cut across the Commonwealth, left behind a variety of problems. Now, the extra energy that was consumed during the storm is weighing heavy on the wallet. Jeremy Toms talked with Kentucky Electric Cooperatives about higher heating bills.
If you're a Kentucky Utilities customer, you may have just gotten your bill today, and you're probably not feeling too warm about the amount that's due.
Result anytime you have any extreme temperature, whether it's extreme cold or extreme heat, but especially extreme cold, you're going to see that reflected in your bills.
Joe Arnold with Kentucky Electric Cooperatives says a combination of factors influence your bill.
Because of the cost of natural gas being higher after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, as well as other market conditions across the world, and that demand has increased, that just means it's going to cost more for the power plants that use natural gas to make the energy based upon that commodity.
But he says that December cold snap caused a record-setting amount of energy production in the WKYT viewing area. KU says it was 70% colder in December of 2022 when compared to the year prior. Salt River Electric shared anecdotal evidence of the issue on social media. One of their customers had turned their thermostat down during the storm by 2 degrees, and their output was still 357% higher than usual.
Let's say your comfortable temperature in your home is 68 degrees. On a day that it's 90 degrees, that's a difference of what? 22 degrees. And on a day where it's 0 degrees, that's a difference of 68 degrees. So that takes that much more energy and power.
Arnold says you should take simple steps of turning off lights and electronics and closing doors to keep the cold out. It may not be much, but any bit can help to offset this month's high bill moving forward.
That was Jeremy Toms reporting. You can get help if you're struggling to pay your energy bills. State funding is available through LIHEAP, and you can also reach out to your cooperatives because they want to help too. Well, just ahead this morning, an actor decides to reinvent himself as a race car driver as he prepares to hit the track to do a few laps.
Our first alert weather day rolls on as we see the front make its way into our region by later this morning. We'll have all the details and track the impacts in about 3 minutes.